More people are coming to Jesus. Wow. And going to church and all that.
Well, after years of declining church attendance, a new report shows that 39% of millennials now attend church weekly, an increase from 21% in 2019. Gen Z also showing renewed interest in faith. Our Sananda McCall shares what may be contributing to these new numbers.
I think for all kinds of reasons, that's a good thing. Definitely a good thing. Because you can only live wrong for so long. You can only live wrong for so long. Like, if you're living incorrectly, just life is so much more, right? Life is spiritual, and you see more now than ever. It's a spiritual battle. It is, whether it's with yourself or with outside forces and others in a lot of ways. It's just deeper than all of it. And also, I think in a lot of ways, social media has brought this. I really do. I think that social media has brought a lot of this, whether it's people making religious or faith-based content on YouTube or on whatever social platform that you follow. Just the emptiness of so much of it. You can only take so much of it for so long before you start to realize, I've been doing this and it's not gotten me anywhere. It's not getting me anywhere. Or it's getting me in the wrong places, the wrong situations. I've tried this. I've done it this way and it doesn't work, or it didn't work, or I don't feel how I think I should about it. Stuff like that. So it makes total sense to me. More people are going to look for other options. And everybody has it in them. Everybody has it in them. It's just your choice whether or not to pursue it or not.
Just watching this CBS Mornings segment about a surprising uptick in baptisms among Generation Z. Like, a lot more teens and young adults are stepping into faith publicly. So I started wondering, what do local churches think about this? Is it just a passing trend, or is it something deeper? Let's find out.
We are seeing a lot of Gen Z people coming, not only coming and just exploring faith, but also coming, making a decision to follow Christ, and taking that step of baptism.
At Eagle Brook Church in Rochester, Pastor Steve Wicker has watched this growing trend for 18 years and more than 40 years of pastoring overall. He says it's more than a trend, it's a renewed spiritual hunger among a generation searching for peace in a chaotic world.
But I feel like they're looking for peace. Jesus doesn't promise to take away all the problems in our life, but he does promise us peace in the midst of them.
Social media.
And also there was that movie that came out, like a year or two ago, right? Portraying the same exact thing that, this isn't new. It happened in the 70s. I think it was the 60s or 70s. I don't remember. One of those decades, right? Where it was like the counter to the hippie movement, all of that. It was like they had their own hippie Jesus movement or whatever, right? So this is a thing, that comes and goes, all of it.
It sparks curiosity, but many young people crave real in-person connections.
Social media
and churches
sparks
are meeting that need
curiosity,
by offering
right?
new ways to
It
serve
makes sense
and
to me.
belong.
With Gen Z, we find that people have online relationships, but there's a hunger for in-person relationships as well.
Pastor Steve also notes that more men are stepping into baptism and ministry roles, balancing
that's
what used to
obviously
be
great.
mostly women serving.
We've seen men who step into serving roles. More and more men are seeking that relationship with God as well.
Though some may shy away from baptism.
That's more important than ever right now. Just straight up. That's more important than ever. You can't just be some person, some dude on the internet or playing video games into your 30s and living in your mom's basement or working this, just not having direction in your life for so long. You can't have that. That's not good for society, period. So finding purpose as a man is super important, especially during a time where, look at what it's led to. Look at where we are and what it's led to. It's led to things like the birth rate is what it is right now. Yes, that has to do with men and women, but it has to do with men also. It does. It's hard and it's deep. I don't want to get crazy into it because not everybody's going to think the same way about it. I have my ideas of how I think about it and what I think about it and how I think things should work and be. And that could be offensive to some people. If I'm being honest, that could be offensive to some people. And, I'm not at the point where, I'm plenty at the point where I'm able to offend people in all kinds of specific ways, but not in other ways. I'm just like, you can find out on your own, or whatever. But to me, and I'm not saying this as like some like crazy spiritual guy or, some religious freak or something like that. Right. I mean, I went to Catholic school my whole life, which tells you a whole lot probably in terms of what's wrong with me. but I think that all this in a lot of ways, it was very good. I feel like I really have a good feeling of what's right and what's wrong and for real, my name is Justin, so being just and all that kind of thing. And also being able to see both sides of things. I just feel that men should be leaders. Men are leaders. Women are leaders also, but in a different way than men should be leaders. They should both lead, but in different ways. And men need to step up in the way that they should lead. That's all. I'm not trying to take away from one or the other. I'm not trying to, put one above the other necessarily, but that's what it is.
Pastor Steve says many come to it after exploring faith and experiencing an inward change.
The hesitation would be if they're not yet convinced of who Jesus is. But as they come and continue learning, that hesitation kind of goes away. Very few people just show up at church. Usually someone invited them. So what we encourage people to do is to be the kind of people that invite others.
Though overall church attendance has declined over decades, there are signs of hope. Millennials, once thought to be leaving faith behind, are coming back, with nearly 40% attending weekly now.
It's probably
Gen Z's
also
growing
just
numbers
their
in
age.
Baptisms could signal a new chapter for American churches.
In addition to baptisms, Eaglebrook is seeing more parents dedicating their children, a sign of intentional spiritual foundations being laid early.
Yeah, I think that it's important because life isn't just material. It's just not. There is so much more than that. So much more than that. I mean, all the crap that we've been through the past 5 years should say it. You can't put your whole entire thing on your job or your school or your government, because how much do they really care about you and how far is that going to get you? You can't do that. And it leads all these people to then be reliant and expectant and want things out of those things, but those things can't give you everything. And in some ways they can take a lot away. Right? I mean, as we've experienced in the past 5 years, specifically the government and different entities that are in power. So purpose is huge. And I think that it's a great thing. And people go to church and join religion and faith and groups and stuff like that for all different kinds of reasons. It's going to depend on the person. I mean, I'll just be honest. I don't, it's not really for me. I don't really like it. I'm not really. And again, I went to Catholic school my whole life. I've been to church. I played at a zillion churches. I've been to church. There are things that are fine about it. And there are things that I'm like, okay, so you got to kind of find what works for you. Really. But I think that finding what works for you as opposed to shunning it is better. I think that people that are just like, I'm not, just no, is close-minded. That's what I think. I think that finding what it is for you, whatever it is, whether that's reading the Bible or listening to people preach, stuff like that, just so you can get, or going to a church and then going to another church, and just kind of finding out what works for you, if any. I think that's all a good thing. I think it's all a good thing. Whatever gets you to a place that makes you a better person. I think that that's ultimately what a lot of this has to do with. People aren't content with themselves and where they are and where they've gotten, and they're looking to improve themselves. And this is an area that they have been not paying attention to. So they're starting to pay attention more to it. I think that's a good thing.